you can't just jump into the fad, especially if there's a monetary gain, without fully understanding the repercussions of it. A lot of people think that they're just going to throw $100 into a token and they're going to wake up a millionaire. That's not the case all the time. And if that is the case, you also then got to take into consideration liquidity to market cap ratio.
Imagine a blockchain built for you. No wallets, no keys, no hassle, just innovation. Welcome to Xion, the first walletless layer 1 blockchain purpose built for consumer adoption. With Xion, developers can build, launch, and scale products that are ready for the masses. No technical barriers for users, thanks to groundbreaking chain abstraction. All it takes to join the crypto revolution? An email. Say goodbye to complexity and hello to possibility. Ready to take the leap? Explore Xion today at xion.burnt.com.
We all want to believe in something. In Chinese, belief also means trust. We want to trust our systems and each other so we can build a future beyond what we know. Join us at Consensus Hong Kong, where belief becomes real.
Hello and welcome to Markets Daily, hosted by me, Jen Sanasi. On this show, we navigate the currents shaping the crypto markets, providing insights against the broader financial landscape. So, whether you're actively trading or simply fascinated by the volatility that is the crypto markets, this show is your compass to understanding what's happened, where we are, and where we're going. On today's show, CEO and founder of SquidGrow, Shibtoshi, joins me. Shibtoshi, nice to see you.
Hey, nice to be back again. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to our conversations.
Of course, the last time we saw you was at Consensus in Austin, Texas, and a lot has happened in the market since then. So let's just set the stage. What are you watching as we head into 2025?
Keeping my eye on blue chips mostly. Obviously, it's hard to ignore Bitcoin, but I think more of my attention is pulled towards Ethereum. I don't see Ethereum as having the movement yet that Bitcoin has. So I think there's quite a lot of runway left. And when it comes to Bitcoin, I think the masses would be lucky to maybe get a 2 or 3x tops in this bull on Bitcoin, whereas Ethereum, it's 3x is a lot more achievable. It's down from its all-time high of last bull market, so and it hasn't yet broke that all-time high. So I think that it's got some movement. So I'm paying very close attention to Ethereum and also Ethereum Classic.
I want to talk about Ethereum Classic in just a second, but let's stick to Ethereum, Ether. There have been some folks who've come on this show recently that said, you know what? Ethereum might be dead in the water. They have so many competitors right now. It's not seeing the same traction when it comes to price movement as Bitcoin. Talk to me a little bit more about your thesis there.
Well, I mean, Ethereum's generally a slow mover, when it comes to the market. Like, it kind of always trickles down. It starts with Bitcoin and trickles down from there. And yeah, Binance BNB has had good movement so far. Solana's doing its thing, but Ethereum is just so vast, and there's just so many projects that are built on top of it, and it's just there's a lot going on there. I think like all these cycles previously, it's been a little slow mover, and I think it just hasn't been primed and popped yet. And I would disagree with anybody that says that it's dead.
You mentioned Ethereum Classic just now. Talk to me about what you're watching there. Why are you paying such close attention to Ethereum Classic when so many people are looking at the Solanas of the world?
I'm not going to call this a good kept secret, but Ethereum Classic always follows Ethereum. So Ethereum moves first, and then Ethereum Classic follows. So if you're a perpetual trader and you're trading futures with leverage on the centralized exchanges, if you have your Ethereum chart up and you're ready to hit the go button on Ethereum Classic, if you see Ethereum move one way or another, there is a delay in Ethereum Classic responding, but it's kind of like getting a glimpse into the future. You know which direction it's going. And anytime that I've ever been paying attention to Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, I've never seen it not follow along. So it's kind of like, you get your lottery ticket a little, lottery ticket numbers before the numbers are drawn, in my personal opinion. So I've made a lot of good money following that. And that little advice with following ETH and Ethereum Classic was actually given to me from my previous CMO, Dane Crypto Blast.
Let's talk about Solana for a second. We've been taking a look at predictions for 2025. Some of the asset managers are predicting that Solana hits. I think I read $1,000 this morning. I read Bitwise's recent report. They say Solana could hit $750 in 2025. I know we just talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you said you're dabbling in the Solana ecosystem. Do you think
Yeah,
that those
I
predictions
just
could
started.
come true?
Yeah, I just started dabbling. I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt because I had every opportunity, like a lot of other people, to get in super early, and now it's starting to make its moves. But in the early stages of Solana, they had a lot of outages
Yes.
on their blockchain, and that was kind of a turnoff for me. You want some consistency and reliability, and I think now they're sorting it out. A couple of weeks ago, they had a some downtime, I believe, on Solana, but they rectified it relatively quick. So it's come a long way from like being down for hours. But it's one of those things that there's a lot of volume and there's a lot of liquidity over there. There's also a lot of like meme tokens popping up over there. I mean, we got Peanut, I mean that came out of nowhere and listed on Binance, and I guess they're listing on Coinbase or maybe have listed on Coinbase. I mean, there's just a lot of liquidity over there. So naturally, as people are making money, in a certain area, that money starts migrating to other chains, other tokens, and so on and so forth. And that's kind of how the bowl goes. But Solana is definitely making some noise now with their cheap fees, their fast transaction times, and the revolving door of these tokens that just keep on, printing millionaires. So it's a very thrilling time to be overseeing, so to speak, right now. So pretty cool. Like I said, I wish I would have got into Solana a little earlier, but it's still relatively early. And if those predictions come true of say $1,000, well, this could be another Ethereum, right? So in 2020, Ethereum was trading between $300 and $400, and now Ethereum, is substantially higher than that. So this could be one of those situations where you can get into something that's going to go the distance and go a long way, and you can get into it relatively early. I just wish I would have taken it a little more seriously earlier on, but
I think a lot of people wish that, there was a time, I think when Solana was at around the same price it is today, and then it went all the way down below $10. And I think a lot of people are kicking themselves for not getting in then. But such is life. We move on, we live and we
yep,
learn.
lesson learned. Yep.
Exactly. Well, speaking of the Solana ecosystem, Pengu launched yesterday. I know everyone was very excited on X about it. It had a massive launch. I want to tell you the market cap, but I can't remember it right now, and I don't want to get it wrong. Were you following that? Like,
Yeah.
do you follow these launches on a day to day?
Not on a day to day. I hold some NFTs and I haven't yet claimed my tokens yet. But if I remember correctly, it got up into the 6 billion range before it had some pullback. I know from the Binance listing announcement that it was launching at a price of 0.05,
Mhm.
with their supply that would put them launching at about a 4.4 billion market cap. Um, and it came in hot and heavy, but as in most cases when you give airdrops and free tokens and stuff, people start selling and pulling profit on the pumps on the way up, and that's exactly what happened. I think right now with Pangu, um, they are we are waiting to find the floor, right? People are still claiming their tokens, excuse me, in Pudgy Penguins, Pangu is the token. But I think right now we're waiting to find the floor. And, I am watching it a little closely. It's a massive company. I mean, they've got their little pudgy penguins in like all the superstores, Walmart, so on and so forth. They've done crazy things with their NFTs. I was just reading the other day that one sold for like $400,000. So, maybe they can spark the NFT run as well. But a lot of attention going on with them. Massive company and obviously multi-billion-dollar company. And I think they're going to go relatively high in market cap as far as the token goes. I think that we can see them in the 10, 15, 20 billion plus market cap range with the type of people that are associated with that company and just the notoriety that they have. So, it's still kind of early. Anything can happen.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. I know the last time we spoke, you said you don't give advice, but for folks who are just getting into the crypto space, they're becoming interested because of all of the fanfare that's happening around a lot of these tokens. If they received that airdrop, I mean, give us some advice from your experience. Like, what should you do with a token when you receive an airdrop other than just sell right away?
Well, the first thing, I mean, there's a lot of airdrops that occur in the space, right? So the first thing is you have to verify the source of the airdrop. In regards to Pudgy Penguins, you can go to their official website, their official X page. They have well, if you go to their X page, you can go to their official website, and then on that website, when it's loading, or when it actually loads, because right now I think it's under a lot of load, so it hasn't been loading. There is a claim page there, and you connect the wallet, and you're able to claim your tokens. Now, in regards to what you do with, those tokens, whether you hold, you sell, you pull some profit, that's completely, you know, up to the individual. If you're in the United States, just be mindful that that's definitely qualifies for long or for short-term capital gain tax. You were just gifted a large amount of money, and if you realize those gains, without holding them for longer than a year, you're going to be subjected to a high tax, 40%. So it just kind of depends on, your individual situation, so I can't really advise what somebody should do if they've received the airdrop, but I think that right now we're Pudgy Penguins is, we're looking to find the floor. So I still think there could be some upward momentum, but again, that's not financial advice.
I mean, I know you don't give advice per se, but I think those are great tips. Understand the tax implications, understand where the tokens are coming from, verify that the project is legitimate, and then do your own research and make your own choices. I think that those are the perfect tips for someone who's receiving an airdrop or who wants to participate in an ecosystem in the way that we just spoke about.
Yep.
Now, we know that you're following blue chip projects, but if we kind of broaden the conversation out and talk about the ecosystem more generally, what are you anticipating for 2025? What are maybe some of your predictions? What are you looking forward to?
In 2011, when I came into the market with Bitcoin, I believed that Bitcoin was private. And this is true to an extent, up until the point somebody gets a hold of your wallet address, verifies that it's you, and then although your identity is not attached to it, they can follow you up and down the blockchain, wherever you transact. So we're starting to see bigger people in the space with massive following like Tucker Carlson and some of the giants that crypto really isn't that private. And where I'm going with this is I think that privacy is going to start taking front and center stage. I think more and more people are realizing that, crypto is not private and we should have privacy in crypto. Obviously, I'm a big advocate of privacy. Um, but I think a narrative for 2025 is probably going to be privacy. Also, we've got a new administration coming in. Um, I was in Bitcoin Nashville when Trump spoke, and he mentioned Bitcoin reserves. So that's a huge thing. I think for this upcoming year, 2025, I think we can start looking forward to maybe some guidance from, governments on operating cryptocurrencies. I think that's something that we actually lack. I know from a builder in the space, like we don't have true guidance. There's just a gray area, and we rely on the opinions of our attorneys to guide us properly. But there's not really something black and white where they can go to like something written and say, okay, well, we can't do this, so let's do it this way.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the conversations I've had, I think that you're right. I think that that privacy conversation will continue into 2025 as people start to understand the space more, as we start to get more clear regulations, hopefully in the United States. I think that you're absolutely right. Privacy will be one of the driving factors there. Now, I have to ask you, I think I asked you similar when we saw each other in Texas, but probably around a different holiday or gathering. But the holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
And I know that for people who have been in the space for a long time, their friends, their family are going to be asking them about crypto or what to invest in, how to get started. What do you tell people who are asking you that, who know absolutely nothing about crypto? How are you planning to engage over the holidays? Maybe people can get some tips from you.
Well, majority of my circle is all involved in crypto at this point, but I think I have a couple people that, haven't yet embraced crypto because they don't understand it. So when the crypto conversation starts coming up, obviously as the mainstream starts talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, the celebrities start launching their coins and doing this and that. More and more people will take notice and try to get involved. And, a lot of people rush into the market not really knowing what they're doing. They lose money, they buy rugs. So how I generally have the conversation when somebody asks about crypto is I ask them, what's your understanding of crypto? Right. We've got to establish just a basic understanding first. And after they have the basic understanding, we start talking about, you know, I'm a big advocate in self custody, obviously with centralized exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. So I explain the differences between holding your crypto on a centralized exchange and holding them in a self custody wallet. Obviously, it's a little easier to get into the crypto market on exchanges, and that's generally how the normies do it because you can just hook up your debit card, you can buy your crypto, and you can convert that to whatever you want. But I try to establish that the difference between it, not your keys, not your crypto. I bring up FTX and what happened with that debacle, and just try to give a clear understanding. And then that's kind of around the time that I would just kind of push them out the door. I really tried not to give financial advice. It almost cost me a very good friendship at one point in time because I actually advised one of my friends to sell a position, and he sold a position for, you know, in his words, life-changing money. And had he held a little longer, he really would have had that generational wealth. And it almost cost me a friendship. So I really try hard, even in my personal life, not to give advice on how to transact, how to hold, when to pull profits any longer. But, that's generally how I start the conversation. I just try to give them a true understanding because when I was doing due diligence on crypto, I didn't really truly understand the importance of Bitcoin until I actually read the white paper. And then I started reading online and seeing how people were receiving it and the speculative use cases for it. And you can't just jump into the fad, especially if there's a monetary gain, without fully understanding the repercussions of it. A lot of people think that they're just going to throw $100 into a token and they're going to wake up a millionaire. That's not the case all the time. And if that is the case, you also then got to take into consideration liquidity to market cap ratio. Like you got to be buying crypto assets that have liquidity because if you have substantial gains in a token, let's say, you invest $1,000 and that position eventually goes up to $1 million, but that token only has say $200,000 in liquidity. Well, if you were to exit that position, 200 grand is all you're going to get, and you're not even going to get that because of the price impact effect, right? So, I just try to do my best to thoroughly explain to people like the ins and outs of crypto before they actually start dabbling into it. And I always suggest, doing research on YouTube. There's a lot of great information out there, a lot of good Google articles as well. So, people need to just get an understanding of it. So hopefully I was helpful in my little rambles there, but
I think those
that's
are
just
great
generally how
tips.
I try to do it.
Of
Yeah.
course, I think those are great tips, right? It's not all about the headlines you see. You really have to understand what you're getting into. You have to be thoughtful about it, and it's not it's I mean, lots of people call it a crypto casino, and a lot of these memes out there, I guess, are similar to some casino games and
Yeah.
some of this casino psychology, but you're not going to get rich overnight. If it sounds too good to be true, it often
Yeah, and there are instances where that does happen,
Mhm.
you've heard the stories from, early investors of Peanut that like
Yeah.
Peanut the squirrel invested like $70 and they're sitting on millions of dollars. It does happen, right place, right time. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be you. You're going to lose. And, I've got a lot of friends dabbling in Solana right now on Pump.Fun, and these projects are just, it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
I mean, enter a position where my buddy said, like, he threw, I think he said like 15 Solana into this token that was about to get bonded on Salana, which I guess is like on pump.fun. It's like you got to get to a certain market cap before you can actually like go mainstream and get off pump.fun. But it was, getting ready to bond. And right as he entered his position of his Solana play, it rugged and it went to zero. And, he started revenge trading and he ended up costing him quite a bit of money. So
Yeah.
there's a smart way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And when you're comparing it to casino, it's very similar because if you're at the casino and you lose some money, you get on that revenge streak where you're just trying to make sure that you recoup what it is that you've lost, not realizing that you're losing more and more money in the process, getting further away. So, I mean, I would definitely compare it to a casino. It's all a gamble. That's all it is. Anybody that sits here and tells you that they know which direction it's going to go, I mean, obviously that's an educated guess. But as far as I'm aware, there's no time travelers that have been to the future and can come back and tell us what the price is going to do. So, I don't think that anybody can really guarantee gains on anything. And I would be very cautious of anybody making promises and setting expectations on price movement. So,
Shibtoshi, I think that's the advice, and those are the wise words that everyone needs to hear as we head into 2025. It seems like it is going to be an exciting year ahead for crypto for a variety of different reasons. Shibtoshi, thank you so much for joining Markets Daily today. It was a pleasure speaking to you again, and we hope to have you back on the show next year.
thank you for having me. It was a good chat.
Awesome. And thank you to our audience for watching and following Markets Daily. If you like to watch the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a comment. We do read all of them. Unless you're trolling us, we're just going to ignore you. If you prefer to listen to the podcast, we're on the CoinDesk Podcast Network that is available on all podcast platforms. Subscribe, leave us a comment, give us 5 stars. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.